Hi, I'm Lesya, an event organizer. In June 2021, the Swiss Convention Bureau invited me to film an inspection tour from a meeting planner's point of view of the incredible town of Davos. I went sailing at 1,500 meters above sea level, walked my first 5-kilometer hike, visited the shooting locations of Youth by Paolo Sorrentino, traveled along the brink of a precipice in an old-fashioned bus with a retro driver, and tasted my first ever fondue. This is my first invitation to check out Davos. Of course I had heard of Davos. In winter, skiers and snowboarders from all over the world flock here to enjoy the mountains while staying in cozy alpine inns. In mid-January, skiers give way to politicians, businessmen, and showbiz stars. They populate the resort and the nearby villages all the way to Zurich in order to discuss problems at the local Congress Center. And it's time to grab some skiing. I'm also remembering Thomas Mann's The Magic Mountain, which he wrote here while waiting for his wife to finish treatment at the local sanatorium. Then, this is how tuberculosis was treated. Sufferers came to the Alps to breathe the fresh mountain air. The sanatorium building is now the Alp Hotel Davos. We arrived in Davos from Zurich Airport after a 2.5-hour drive. Had we traveled by train, the trip would have taken as long as we would have had to change at both Zurich and in Landcourt. We stayed at the Alp Hotel in the very center of Davos. The hotel has 4 stars, and there is no 24-hour room or concierge service. At check-in, each guest receives a Davos Clusters Premium Card, which enables guests to use the transport at the resort and receive a large discount at the ski lifts. All the hotel suites have panoramic floor-to-ceiling windows, which give breathtaking views of the mountains. As is usually the case on such trips, it doesn't take me long to feel at home and enjoy the courtesy gift, a bottle of the local cherry liquor and a delicious nut cake. Amarin is a hotel whose unique atmosphere is created by details, old photos in the hallway, handcrafted wood and stone objects, a bookshelf filled with old books and the friendly staff. The word that most readily comes to mind is snug. The hotel has 148 suites, 6 conference halls, a large garage, and 2 restaurants. We had lunch on the veranda of Bacio della Mamma restaurant, which means mom's kiss in Italian, and it was as tasty as mom's cookery. This is what the manager told us.
We are the newest hotel here. We have a lifestyle concept, a lifestyle interior design, and also we have a spa directly located in the center of Davos, and this is what the most thing the people like.
If you have a big budget incentive event to arrange, don't hesitate to pick the Hard Rock Davos Hotel. It's Europe's first ever Hard Rock hotel, making it the go-to spot for rock stars from any industry. Our customers like Rockstar Glam, and Hard Rock Davos has it in spades with its open-air veranda bar on the roof, with its 360-degree panoramic view and Caribbean vibe. There's a chapel where the classic decor of a Catholic sanctuary withstands the acoustics of a rock concert or a group having an aperitif. It's incredible to me, in conservative Switzerland, a chapel can be used in such a decadent manner. You can celebrate a wedding or arrange a conference or a concert right there. This is what we were told of the hotel concept by the general manager.
All the music-related design you will find all over the hotel, be it the memorabilia in all areas, or be it the pictures in the rooms, and starting by the amenities as well, which we can offer our guests, and of course our band members, the rock stars. So you can borrow a guitar at the reception, you can take it up to the room together with an amplifier, and then you can play your music by yourself with headphones, or you're gonna make the music lessons on the television.
Our colleagues from Davos Convention Bureau said the peak periods for visiting Davos are December to February and June to August. I was lucky to be there in June when the alpine meadows are in full bloom. I never really understood what you're meant to do in the mountains in summer. Winter is a different story, of course. Downhill skiing, tobogganing, snowboarding. Remarkably, in the summer, the choice of activities is bigger still. The first surprise was Lake Davos. It's easy to fall in love with it at first sight. surrounded by high mountains and meadows, tinctured with the brightest green. It is a magical sight. This is my first experience of sailing. Davos Lake is 55 meters deep, so I didn't have to be reminded to wear a life jacket. Extreme sports and activities, except Pilates and running, are not really my thing. All my life I've been straining after experiencing new adventures, as if drawn by some inner compulsion. This was true to this day. With the guidance of my experienced instructor Johnny, I learned to control a small 8-person yacht. Sailing is thrilling and here so cinematic, a perfect setting for pictures of your corporate retreat. Johnny told us about the options his aquatic school offered.
I'm running a sailing school here at Lake Davos. We have sailing boats, bigger and smaller ones, sailing boats. With the big sailing boat, it's possible to go out just to see how it is sailing together with the skipper. It's possible for a family or just for a couple or for one person. It's possible to make for 1 hour. Then on this boat you can also learn to sail. For this it needs 1 week lessons. Then I have fun catamarans. They are very easy to sail. They don't need a teacher, so people can go alone. We tell them a few points, but that's absolutely not complicated.
The townsfolk of Davos love skiing and snowboarding, but ice hockey is the locals' biggest passion. Every Christmas Eve, Hockey Rink Davos hosts the Spengler Cup, where the best ice hockey clubs in the world compete. The arena is also the training ground for the local hockey team, who are currently holding the top score in the national championships. Davos is seen as the birthplace of modern winter sports. The classic wooden sled was invented here, which is known as a Davoser. We checked out where the World Economic Forum is held. Without its 3,000 globally renowned economists, politicians, scientists, and businessmen, the 12,000 square meter venue looks surprisingly humble. During the pandemic, the center is being renovated to make it more luxurious, befitting its annual gathering of VVIPs. Our first night in Davos was on the magic mountain of Alp. The mountains feel like its own little private state with its hotel, 2 restaurants. It even has its own cable car. The Alp Hotel is over 100 years old. This historic mansion is chock full of antiques, making it a perfect movie set. It has a unique garden with exquisite plants, fountains, an observation space, and a lobby where you marvel at 100-year-old telephone sets. The curtained elevator, a chess room, paintings, and pictures set in the panels. History is embedded in every corner, which is why no one should be surprised Italian filmmaker Paolo Sorrentino shot his film Youth in these picturesque grounds. If you only saw with what love and care the place is treated by the hotel manager.
It's a historical house. It was a luxury sanatorium with a lot of different patients until 1953, and since then we are a hotel. So almost 70 years. We have more than 5,000 different kinds and species of plants from all over the world. We have a team of gardeners, and we have a head gardener, which is Klaus Oettchen. He's here since 17 years and really maintaining this as his own baby. I think I can say that.
We had dinner at the Panoramic Restaurant, which is styled like a rustic chalet and positioned over the cable car station. The service of every course was accompanied by cable cars arriving and departing. This place will be forever etched on my memory, as it's where I first tried Swiss fondue. Several kinds of cheese are melted in a cast iron pot, Herbs and wine are added, and this molten mass is eaten by winding the cheese around pieces of bread. Nutritious and tasty, exactly what you need after a busy day on the mountains. In spite of the sunless weather on that day, I experienced the breath from Schatzalp mountaintop, making me grateful to be in such wondrous scenery. Our second day in Davos was just as action-packed. Ahead of us, we had hiking, which is the country's national sport. We reached the starting point of our route by the historic Davos Villesur train. The railway runs from May to October, and the train leaves twice a day. The old-style coaches immediately give you the sense of experiencing adventures in the grand style. This is when the Davos Clusters Premium card came in handy. With it, our ride was free. In 10 minutes, the train got us to the ski lift going to the Rheinerhorn, and we proceeded uphill. We're heading up in the gondola. Today we plan on hiking. It's one of the most popular sports in Switzerland for both locals and guests. Let's check it out. This hike blew my mind. Since being a child, I've always enjoyed ad images of Swiss cows grazing in alpine meadows. I can no longer recall the actual brand names, and I can't say for sure that it was really about butter, but the views of green mountains and alpine pastures with their huge variety of flowering herbs are etched in my memory. On that hike, I finally saw with my own eyes the screen images from my childhood. Meandering mountain paths, luxuriant treetops, alpine brooks, endless fields of yellow flowers, all against the background of dazzling white mountaintops. In Rheinhorn, there are several mountain trails of different length, whose difficulty level is designated with color. Yellow means very easy, red stands for mountain path, and blue indicates an alpine path which you can negotiate only with special equipment. This was my first experience hiking. Therefore, I was glad that we were accompanied by Sabrina, who knows the best trails around Davos, and was happy giving us practical advice.
It's important that the group choose a level and a hiking trail according to their level. So if you're a beginner, please choose only a beginner hiking trail, and if you're an advanced hiker, then choose a further hiking trail. It's important to have good shoes in the mountains, especially shoes with a good profile.
After the busy day in the mountains, it was time to think about a pre-dinner aperitif, or as they like to abbreviate in Switzerland, an apéro, which are taken very seriously here. Today, we would have our apéro in the village of Monstein, where we would drink the last beer before heaven. Having started the day with a retro train journey, it made sense to complete it in the same old school style. An energetic blue-eyed gentleman took us to Monstein in an old-fashioned bus down a spiraling mountain road. It was hard to tear my eyes away from the bus control panel because it looked like it belonged on a time machine. And look at the wonderful mountain waterfalls we were passing through the bus window. The village was so unique, I even forgot what I had came there for. I felt compelled to take pictures of every bush, stump, and roof tile. The atmosphere was so special, I not just forgot about my apéro, but also dinner, and even about returning to the hotel. People from Davos like coming to Monstein to see how beer can be drawn at almost 2,000 meters above sea level, and how it tastes straight from an ancient cellar or keg. The brewery manager gave us such a wonderful story of his life in Monstein that I had a strong urge to change trades. From Monstein, we reluctantly returned to Davos. It seemed like things couldn't get any better, but the upmarket hotel and the low-key name of Grisha gave us a shock. Viewing our wonderful suite, we were instantly reminded we were in a famous resort with a global reach, where the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio and other famous WEF guests would come. All these beautiful names seem to be rather jovial and slightly Russian, although my pronunciation may not do it justice. Cyril Ackerman told us why guests like his hotel.
We have about 80% of our clients are from Switzerland, region of Zurich. And the people like to stay here because we have 5 restaurants in the house and 1 restaurant outside of the house, and that's why it's a big point. And the second point is probably also the nice rooms which we have. They could be as well in city center. I mean, the rooms are in a way of alpine chic, we say in Switzerland, and that it makes cozy for the people.
We were having dinner in a private room to compare different appetizers and dishes from the various restaurants of the hotel. They were incredible, combining gastronomy and healthiness, which seems to be a particularly Swiss skill. Besides, Davos has an excellent Congress Bureau, which will help you to arrange any event.
So at least the Davos Congress Center was built in 1969 and renovated and completed once again in 2009. And so we get now space for about 3,000 people into the Congress Center. And at least we have 34 rooms, different meeting rooms, where you can split it up at least of, let's say, 3 different congresses.
Davos is not a small mountain village, but a full-fledged urban community in the Alps. Reportedly, it's not easy to fall in love with it at first sight. However, I beg to differ, as this is exactly what I imagined.
You need the power of music, you need Davos.
You need unlimited sports activities, you need Davos.
You need a refreshing mountain breeze, you need Davos.
You need inspiration, you need Davos.
You need fresh wind, you need Davos.
You need conference on the highest level, you need Davos.
You need a beer, you need Davos Monstein.